Hello. I'm still alive, believe it or not. It's been a very, very difficult time. My camera's a bit high up. I'm not sure I'm looking at you or the camera, so forgive me if I'm not giving a straight gaze. How have you been? We had Solstice last weekend. I'm going to talk about a Rome visit today, but first of all, just want to check up on everybody and to share what's I've been through an absolutely dreadful week, one of the worst weeks I think I've ever been through. So much there and everywhere, and I've been aching. My whole body has been aching. It's been doing it for 2 or 3 weeks, and I am getting a bit worried. But I checked on some of the special esoteric sites, and somebody did mention they're going through a lot of pain. So it could be, you don't know, do you? It could be anything. I know in a past life, the Emperor Commodus, Roman Emperor, he used to beat me up quite badly for physical reasons. And got me well again and beat me up again. In fact, I met him in this life. I think I mentioned him to you before. So it could be that coming out. I think when we're going through past life experiences, the pains and the injuries we had then, they're still in our etheric body, you see. So they're perhaps coming out. I don't know. But it's been a very difficult week and I feel pretty exhausted. But we have to keep going, don't we? So I don't know about anybody else. It would be nice to hear from anybody else what they're going through. But there are lots of websites where you can do that. I don't know why I do this really. I think it's just to talk about personal experiences really, because that's all I can. Well, I could do a lot more, but I'm not specific in anything in particular. Lots of interests. Anyway, I've mentioned this all before. So today we're going to talk about Rome. Roman visit, Roman mission to the Colosseum, no less, and the Sistine Chapel. It was a strange time. When I was at Wessex, I think I mentioned about many years ago, gosh, it must be 20 years ago now, this particular Wessex, and we were asked by a certain spiritual master to sing the letter A. I think, yes, it is A. I'm sure he'll tell me if it's not. It seems that there was a multi-dimensional merge of some sort, a big vortex in Rome, which is very, very important. And this particular note was something that was needed to assist the process. I don't know the technical in and out, but that was what we were told. And I felt, gosh, this is for me. I love singing, as you know. and to sing the letter A. So off I went. Another £500 gone. I kept spending all this money on these religious things, not religious, spiritual things, ventures and whatever they're called. And people say, oh, it'll come. Well, it hasn't. Hence, I can't do it anymore. £500 here, £1,000 there, all in this, for the sake of whatever, multidimensionals and all the masters and the hierarchy. Oh yeah, we don't get paid though, do we? So anyway, this was a mission to Rome to sing A. We were all booked into a certain hotel. There were other things going on, but I didn't want to do more. I just wanted to stay with my little mission that I was... And there's lots of channeling and lots of this and lots of that. I like to keep it simple. I don't want to go into too much data and too much detail. Do you see this camera flickering? I don't think it is the camera. I've asked my friend about it. It's not. I think it's the spirits. It's the light flashing around. There's a lot about it at the moment. Have you noticed? Lots of light about. And at night when you wake up, there's little sort of white particles in the air, isn't there? It's not really black anymore. Very strange. So I think this light, all I can think of, because the lights aren't on, it's daytime. It's about 4 o'clock. So anyway, this is the Rome visit to sing A. And we were put into it's a hotel, weekend hotel, and I was sharing with the most peculiar girl. I'm sure she was a lesbian. She kept prancing around the room with her bare breasts and flashing them about, and I didn't quite know what to make of it really. So we just had lots of laughs, lots of giggles. That was a good start. So it was good. So the whole weekend was about. There were talks and music and this and that and aromatherapy, the usual stuff. Anyone who's been to these things, they're all much the same. It's all the same sort of thing. And the person that was running this particular weekend was talking about stuff that had happened that we were supposed to be healing, actually. Lots of meditation. And one thing she talked about was it was just after that 9/11 thing with the Twin Towers. And of course at the airport going over we were checked very carefully, and I was a little bit scared, to be honest. I think anyone who didn't mind flying after that was quite brave. So we talked about this hole in the ozone layer in the USA, and we spent a lot of time meditating on this hole in the ozone layer. And it suddenly occurred to me, what about the UK? We had 7 years of it, 7 years of bombs. I mean, thousands of bombs dropped on the UK. Hundreds of towns and cities were destroyed, particularly Bristol, where I used to live. So why? And I did put my hand up there, please, miss. Can we have? Can we? I think I did mention it, but that wasn't important. It seems to me. This is, I don't know, the hierarchy, I don't know. They seem to be more interested in the US than anywhere else. I know it's a big country, there's a lot of problems over there, but that seems to be their main mission, is to heal anything to do with the US and sort it out, And the poor little UK, I think we have got a master. I think Master Robert Browning was the English master. I think Peter Dunoff. So we have got them, but they're not quite so important, it seems to me. Do you know what I mean? So obvious, that's the word. They are all important, of course. So we went to this hotel with this very blousy woman, and we had, during the day, talks and lectures, and there was a chap on the electric organ played some beautiful music that was supposedly channeled. That was very beautiful. So there were lots of nice things about it, but we didn't sing A. I think I did ask in the end, are we going to sing A? We had probably a very brief, I can't sing it now, I can't think of A at the moment, but it was such a peculiar, it wasn't really fulfilling as I thought it was going to be, not for 500 quid anyway. Although I love Rome. I've been to Rome no, I don't love it actually. I love going there, but I don't love it. I had a past life there, not so nice. We did visit the Colosseum, the big building where all the gladiators used to fight, and I was expecting something from it, like an atmosphere or something, because I'm quite sensitive. But all the half of the floor's been covered over now, so you can actually walk over the underneath bit where the gladiators and the animals were stored. But there was no sort of atmosphere. I suppose it's all been cleared and prayed over, and so many years. It's very ancient, but it was interesting to sort of see it and go round. And you can imagine what used to happen, and terrible times really. So I don't think it was for that reason. I think it's this vortex, it's the invisible vortex, that the letter A was supposed to be assisting those that were working on the change of dimensions for the new age, because it was 20 years ago, 2001. I can't believe it. I can't believe I used to do an awful lot of things and travel and things like that. And because I've been so ill for the last 10, talk about a 10-year initiation, I'm absolutely worn out with it all. So I know it's been necessary to stay at home, I think, and just do the processing. But I am getting pretty bored, to be honest. So this letter A, I'm not sure you sang it or not, but everything was very beautiful. I got a bit bored with the meditations and sitting around and I don't know. I don't know. I probably changed a lot over the years, really. It was good at the time to do it. You felt as though you were accomplishing something and you were progressing spiritually. So, but we did go to the Sistine Chapel, and that was well worth it. The Sistine Chapel, Michelangelo, as you know, painted the ceiling, and the colours. I mean, the colours were just as fresh as they were when he painted it. Hundreds of years ago, the yellow in particular was a beautiful, I don't know, was it a cadmium yellow? I'm not sure of the colours of the paint, but apparently initially the plaster came through the paint, so we had to do a lot of repairs. But it's just beautiful, and the chapel itself is not terribly big, so it was jam-packed with people, and of course we were all muttering and murmuring amongst ourselves, and every now and then you hear shh. Somebody would come up, probably a tape recorder, come up with this sound, so we all had to be quiet. And then it all started up again. So that was interesting, and all the corridors, the Pope's chapel, the Pope's building. I mean, amazing place really. You can feel the presence of sort of. I know I'm not a Catholic, but I'm not kind of. I wouldn't have thought I was probably. I don't know, sensing something, but it seemed to be very austere, not a warm feeling. It was like very mental, logical. That's just me, not the warm place like the Franciscan Friary and places like that. But this was very head oriented. And of course, it's very male, isn't it? The male energy, So that was lovely. I don't know. I think I've mentioned it all really. I'm very tired today, to be honest. Very, very tired. So maybe we've had enough for the day. I just, I don't know. I'm trying to think I can't think of it. I can't. Right, there is a kind of funny story. There's always a funny story. This girl that I was friendly. Yes, it was weird. It was really weird because towards the end, the Last Supper, you might say, everybody was all sitting around chatting and nobody wanted to sit with me. I stood on my own quite a while, sort of trying different people, and they're all kind of not outwardly rejecting, but I did feel they weren't very welcoming. And then when I got home, some weeks later, I had an email from somebody who was at this particular weekend. And she said, oh, you were lovely, all the stuff, you're a lovely person to be who you are, all that. But she said, I'm so glad we met. We had a dreadful time, but you taught me a lot. And I didn't know who this person was. I've been racking, and I think I'm racking my brains. I mean, she's not there now. I did write to sort of say thank you, and that happened to me quite a lot. I think, I'm not quite sure what I should say this, but I think I disassociate sometimes. And I did read somewhere recently that the soul actually creates a personality in order to heal a multidimensional. And I think I've got a very nasty multidimensional. And often I seem to have feedback from people that say things that I have said or done, not done, but been, is totally out of character. And I'll tell you this little story because it is interesting. When I was only 5 years ago, I've had 10 house moves in 30 years, moved every 2 years, imagine it. And my daughter and I have always had problems. Anyway, this particular story is quite interesting. I was awake one night, aware of a presence in my room. And I was aware it was like part of myself was leaving. And I can remember saying, take care of my daughter. Now, I've often wondered what that was, and I think it was a personality that perhaps that she had known that was difficult. I don't know. We won't talk about it. But that was obviously one of my sub-personalities leaving. It's very strange. I'm sorry about all this. I just felt I've got to talk about these things. Do you know, when I've done these videos, in fact, a couple of days later, I watch them again. I'm a narcissist, really. I like to watch myself when I get down. I think I'm not so bad after all, especially on a good day. And so I don't know. I've often wondered about this, and I'm thinking, why do I say these things? I think it's probably. No, it's not channeled because I know I'm saying it. It's probably inspirational. Maybe somebody needs to hear it. You don't know these things, do you? You'll say things that afterwards you think, why did I say that? Where did that come from? So anyway, gosh, 14 minutes. I better go. So thanks for listening. I think I've covered everything. I can see that beautiful yellow ceiling. And yes, it was an interesting weekend. Rome. I've been 5 times to Rome. I don't really like it. It's a big city. It's got a very cold feeling to it. Anyway, I better stop. So I'm going to go for now. Do take care of yourselves. And I don't know, all these weird things that are happening. We just got to flow with the flow, haven't we? And just rest a lot, really. So take care, dear ones. God bless. Love you lots. Bye-bye.